Hello folks, how are you? I've got the bottle opener, I've got a beer. It's actually not a Manchester Star Ale, this is a homebrew, but obviously the bottle has been used to put in a homebrew. And I've got my Spiegelau, fantastic glass this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this beer into my Spiegelau and we're going to give it a taste test. Now this beer has been sent to me very kindly by Mr. Dominic Fernandez, otherwise known as flyibiza on YouTube and also in the Vaughan Live TV casts. Dominic is the fella who came out with us last weekend and we had a few beers and we got a little bit drunk and had a good time. He's a home brewer too. He's come back to the UK for a week and I believe he's gone back to Ibiza now, where he now lives. Before he went back to Ibiza, he sent me a few beers. The other two are in the I was going to say in the shed then, but they're not. They're in the fridge. This one I really want to try because it's brewed using the experimental 366 hop, which I've never tasted before. Don't really know an awful lot about. But we'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. So very careful opening it there just to make sure. Let's have a little look. Very well carved, Dom, very well carved, mate. Nice colour. There we go, it's quite a bit of a head on that. Smells great. Yeah, it smells quite hoppy. It's a little dark, but that's alright. I'm going to just rest that for a minute just to let it settle, and I think we've got the sediment down the bottom there, which depending on whether I like this particular brew or not, I might throw it on a stir plate, grow it up. I might not. We'll see how we go. But yeah, apparently this 366 is an experimental hop. It's quite new. As I say, I don't really know a lot about it. It's allegedly supposed to have sort of a citrus and sort of fruity tones to it, a bit like the Citra, Cascade, and Amarillo type hops. So there we go. I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see the. Can you see how fizzy that is? That's well carbonated in there, and that's fine because I like carbonated beers. It smells quite hoppy. Let's dive in, folks. Let's dive in. Oh man. Ooh. Oh, I like that. That's really good, Dom. It's very much like a Cascade, but I would say it's a little bit more dry on the palate than a Cascade is, but the fruitiness is there certainly. Initial hit of citrus. Oh, it's a really well carved beer. That's a nice ale, that, mate. I've got to be honest with you. That's nice. That's really nice. I like that. I don't know whether it's an all grain or whether it's just extract brew. You've not really given me any info on it, mate. So I might just save up the yeast that's sitting at the bottom of this, let it settle at room temperature for a while, see if I can throw it on a stir plate and grow it up, because that's really nice. I really like that, mate. That's like a it's a cross between best way I can describe it, it's like a cross between a Citra and a Cascade. It's sort of in between the two. It's really got a predominant citrusy hit, and there is an amount of dryness there too, but it's very pleasant. Nice head on there too. A little bit lacing for those that like lacing or find that lacing is the mark of a good beer. It's clinging to the side of the glass, which is a good thing, and you see that. But that is a 2-finger head. So yeah, quite fizzy this one. So I don't know how you did it, Dom. Again, what I'll do, folks, is I'll find out from Dom what he's put into this, and I'll stick it underneath in the description. Unfortunately, he wasn't really able to give me too much detail on it, other than he used the 366 experimental hops. I think it's 366. Yeah, 366 experimental hops is he's marked on the top there of the bottle. Now, we did talk about it briefly on Saturday, but he didn't really tell me what else he's put into it. Now, because he's now back in Ibiza, he can go and look at his beer notes and he can tell me what's in it. But while he was in the UK, he didn't have his beer notes with him and he couldn't remember. But what I can tell you is that is a fine beer. If I'd have brewed that myself, I'd be happy with that. I'd be really happy, because it's quite light, it's not too heavy, and the flavour is really fruity, and surprisingly enough for me, although I say there's a certain amount of dryness there, it's not too bitter. And I don't really like massively bittered ales, folks. I like mine to be quite light and fruity, which is why I brew with Amarillo and Cascade. I've yet to do a Citra, an all Citra ale. Maybe I'll have a go at that at some point. But this one is pretty good. So for the experimental 366 hops, out of 10, I've got to say, Dom, that is a damn fine beer, mate. That's a damn fine beer. Maybe if I'd left it a little bit longer, it might be a little bit clearer. And as it is, it's only been in the fridge for a couple of days. But you know what? It's bloody good. As it is now, it's bloody good. Really tasty, really refreshing. And I'm going to go away and drink the rest of it. So yeah, you've intrigued me now, Dom. What I might do is stick this on a stir plate, as I've said, grow it up, and I'll need to find out exactly how much of this hop you put into this and the recipe, because I might give this a bit of a go myself, mate. So I'll stick it down below, folks, once I have a little bit of a word with Dom and we find out what's gone into this. And yeah, I'm gonna go away and enjoy this in private on my own with some beer. I've got another 2 beers to try out, but what I might do is leave those for another couple of days to settle a bit more. Those are all grain beers that he sent me, so we'll give those a go too. See if I can find out a little bit more about them before I do this video. But in the meantime, cheers, Dom. Thanks very much, mate. I really like this. This is a success. It's got to be a 9 out of 10, mate. That's really nice. And you know me, I'm a fussy sod. I'm quite difficult to please, really, but it's quite light, refreshing. Fruity. Really fruity, and 1,000 times better than the beers we had on Saturday. They were fine. This is better than any of those, mate. You did well. So well done, mate. Cheers for now, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-da.